Vicarja, new devlog. I've been really busy with a new job and stuff recently, so I haven't really got around to it, and I guess the stuff's been piling up. So, starting off, this is the site and app as it is for everybody, or should be at the moment. New dashboard, so it shows you the date. You can have a click, and you can see the time. And in Irish, you can click on any time and see the current date and time as Gaeilge. Build it up that way. And then you can also take a look at the Sionnach, which is like a saying or stuff. And then yeah, this one's funny. And then some videos. So thank Michael for doing all this dashboard. It's really cool, and this selection I think is really good. From native speakers to some really good high quality like lessons. Our own plugs. This is the one that I restored and put in. And Michael's is over here. This tool is really good. I recommend checking it out. And I recommend taking a look at Patchy's channel. He is currently teaching me and helping me get rid of my English accent. And I really like the stuff that Patrick does. This video here is phenomenal. Like it's he goes through all the dialects, explains them, and gives examples of each on the fly. It's really impressive. Think you should nearly put this one somewhere in the app to be like, choose a dialect, watch this first. Yeah, so that's it. And then the other thing was we put in the introduction course, and all of these are available. So if you finish all 5 levels in any of these, the next one gets unlocked. This is the second course kind of setup we've done, and then this is their this one is their original. There's still a lot of mistakes in this. I'm fixing them as fast as I can. This will all be rewritten to use the newer one, so there's 3 in total, and the newest one they both need to be changed to, and you'll see why in a bit. But basically, this one was about 3,000 lines. It's scattered across different databases and stuff. It's difficult to work with. This one is new, centralized in one file. It's about 5,000 lines each. A lot more information. But the new one is like it's like 8 lines a lesson, and really modularized and stuff. So I will show it in a second or later on. So yeah, I am actually hoping I can just rewrite this into the new system and fix it that way. But please keep reporting them and let us know. Sionnach, that's the website as it is. But the devlog is about what it's heading towards, and so here we are. This is the new interface number 3, or the final version of it. So let's take a look. The data isn't filled out, and the systems are built and all that kind of stuff. But I need to go fill out everything, and that's why last week when the numbers are going way up on the app, we just decided to cut a release, put out what we had, and I'll need to basically fill this out over the next weeks. It takes some time, as you might imagine. New interface. The audio has been broken into just one with icons. I mean, I guess the first time you come to it, it might be a bit figuring out which one is a word, which one is a sentence, but you can play in here. So snail, tortoise, rabbit, 3 different volumes. The idea of the icons isn't to be perfect. It's just that to be consistent, and you can play around with them and understand, and trying to keep it all on one screen. Got rid of the I'm stuck. There's a new feature for that. So actually I'll just start off with that. The new feature is this. So if you ever used Duolingo or similar kind of apps, they have the bag of words where you pick stuff and see where it goes and all that kind of stuff. That's what this is. You can have a listen at all of them, and then you can go, and for each word we have a lesson. Some have not much going on. Others have a little bit more, and this could probably have more again, to be honest with you. And yeah, and then if you have no idea where it goes, you can click this and it will put it where it goes. I'll disable this. You won't get experience in the app when you just autofill it. I need to fix that. And the other thing is I changed it so you can jump around words, so you can have a listen each word. So that removes the need for a single word when you can just jump around and have a listen. at any of the words, kind of like a proper hangman style. Or you don't have to do it.
Mission.
Yeah, so that's that one. And then we have broken down. These no longer tell you what the word is; they just tell you what like a personal pronoun is. Because I guess you need to learn that. And this is empty at the moment, but will be filled in. You know, what is this? You know, go and see what it is. What's a proper noun? You know, clear. And the idea is not for me to get it perfect. Now I will try. But like these are just centralized. This is done once in the app. Every time proper pronoun shows up, you can go to this, and so if there's a mistake, we fix it once, and it's available everywhere. And then the idea of this is, I think if you come to it first, you probably won't even use this. But if you like this, you know, click in here, you might start using this to start spotting the parts of the sentence, where the verb is, where the nouns are going, the prepositions, and all this kind of stuff. It's not that obvious coming to Irish, especially from English. The verb might come first, or what a coupla is, or what a preposition is, or like, you know, a gum, or all this kind of stuff. Like you can learn it by rote, but you can also start spotting the patterns and stuff. So like not only just learning the words and what goes where, memorizing off, but understanding the patterns and stuff, right? If you're into that type of thing, you can choose not to use this if you don't want to. I personally really like this. Yeah, okay, so what else? Changed the pronunciation to just phonetic, and this is like just the standard middle. I mean, debatable. We could have went by dialects and stuff, but the idea here is not going to give you perfect pronunciation, like the audio is for that, but you know, to help with the audio, but to start associating sounds with letters, and maybe even hearing sounds you don't normally hear. Classic example for English speakers is the slender or in aber. If it's slender, it sounds a bit than aber. Am I doing that right? I don't even know. If you're not aware of that, you might never even notice it. When you notice it, you probably start fixing it. And the other thing too is if you came in here and you saw 4 slots and Lou, you're like, okay, where the hell is the 4th letter coming from? The thing with Irish spelling is it's actually really consistent. It's just very, very context driven. And once you have all the nuance and context, it makes a lot of sense. Not that you might be speaking to someone and thinking through all of this, but if you're aware of it and you come across something, it's a lot easier if you know the why, and you can remember it a lot easier. So yeah, some people think that it's, or believe that it's best to do just pure input, just to watch Netflix in your language with the language subtitles. I think this definitely works. Other people like to learn the entire structure of the language and do it that way. It's probably the way we did it in schools. I don't know if that works for everybody. I personally think a bit of a hybrid approach, like being aware of the structure and then doing a lot of input is really nice. Yeah, anyways, so that's all of this. And then 2, every grammar concept will be, it isn't, it's missing some at the moment, showing up here. So personal pronouns and Hoopla for grammar, and if you just want a quick refresher, you take a look at the sample, like, oh yeah, that's what that is. If you're not sure, you can test yourself. And then if you totally have no idea, you can hit the lesson. And then this is kind of like full and explanation, rules, and you know, examples of what not to do. And then we have multiple choices in here too, and related concepts. So you can go in here to your heart's desire, dig down, have a look, become aware, have a bit of fun. And then anywhere that these concepts show up, these will be available. And same patterns is basically anything not covered in grammar. So just like classic example might be greetings. It's just a bit easier to do it here, and it's the same kind of structure. So that's it, Sinead. And then if you wanted, you can come to the side panel and you can just dig down and do it on yourself. So you know, you're like, oh, I need to read up mutations, and these are the same ones as in the lessons. And then you're like, oh, okay. So like the idea is to kind of build up grammar slowly, not like cramming it in, and then to see it reference where it's used, so you can see an example of it. So you can come across it, you're like, oh, that's interesting. Why is it doing that? Click on the grammar, click on the concepts, and be like, oh, that's why. Yeah, so that's the grammar, and then I guess the patterns are similar, and then this is a new dictionary, and then this is kind of the same idea. Like the vocabulary entries are much smaller because you might have one or two grammar concepts in each sentence, or three or four, or whatever, and they're repeated, but every single word needs to have an entry. And the way we did this is we do each word by its base, unmutated form. So you can kind of see that the plural, genitive, singular, eclipses. So this is how it's stored. Like it's stored to its base, not each one of these having its own variation. So that's the idea. So you come here, you learn what it means, and then you see them all together. So I guess you probably need to put more in here sometimes. I don't know, or even like show why this has the eclipses. And you have the pronunciation and stuff. We can do more here, but the more we add, the more work it is to get it filled up. So it's easier to kind of put something in and then update it later on. And these can all be added to, right? Yeah. And then, later on we can probably build the tools and stuff around like spaced repetition and whatnot. Okay. Yes, that's the app. And let me then show you why this is interesting and why this is different than what was there before. Where am I? Data. Let's see. Okay, so I haven't really touched this since last weekend. I was doing it. I was recording a video before this, and the battery died. So let's see if I can remember. This is the data. This is why it's an absolute mess. It's full of old and new. We're trying to get it over to these new ones. This is the new act. Yeah. So then let's see. I go into the editor. So I think I showed you before how long, like the 5,000 line lessons and stuff, but this one is like, this is the first lesson, and it's just a sentence pair, English, Irish. By hand we hand in the unmutated because it's much easier for a human to do this than a machine. And then all of this is like the rest of it's deferred. Like it uses this to see if it's right or wrong. It uses this to show a mutated view, which I didn't show you. I'm going to show you that actually in a bit. I'll show you it now actually. This might take a while, but I think it's worth it. So in this view, this first one, actually, it shows you any mutations. It shows you shevu, oru, anything that changes a word. Yeah, so
Is Misha. Look.
I think I need to go to like the 10th sentence here or something. Or maybe it's the 5th.
Look. Is Anim. Plum. Lol is Anim plum. Is Thar. May. Is Thar May.
Super riveting stuff.
Tall. May.
It's interesting, the course covers a lot of ground in the first lesson, like for a beginner course. We're doing like Kupla versus Tal versus Is, and then we're doing like, showing you like was it prepositions like a gum, egg and may, at me. And we're also showing Orem, and then we're like showing a lot actually, like the difference between like at me and to have, and so I have strength.
Paul. Nyath. Honyath
So I have strength, whereas before it was like Islauja may I am strong.
Paul. May. Unsha. Paul Mensha.
So here we go. This is the default. So we're going to show straight away the mutation. So if it's, where am I? Call Will May. Will, Fuil, although you always see it to be H, but it is mutated. So the ka
Paul,
and this bit here is the mutation, right? BH. So yeah, this is kind of like, so you're going through it will show you what's going to be being mutated, like G's and T's and all the kind of stuff to kind of like just to highlight that, okay, that's a mutation going on there. Maybe if you switch over to this view, you might, the data's not populated, but you might guess, okay, what's causing that, and then obviously in the grammar it will be explained. Again, not here. That is done by comparing these two sentences, so that's why the human has to do it. Did spend a bit of time trying to figure out how to do it via code. Might be able to do it eventually, but it's just a lot of work. And for a human, it doesn't take long at all, right? Yeah, and then down here we have the grammar concepts. We just make a reference to like, oh, this is here and this is here, and then maybe we might say like ta versus is here, and then we put in the greetings, the patterns, which is just a greeting here, and then in the vocabulary we break it down. So this is needed for two reasons. One is to get the tags above them. When you saw that view of like personal pronouns, and this is how it's done, and for it to show up in the vocabulary picker, because these are basically file names, and then also for our audio system, we have audio by word and sentence, so that's matched on the word. So that's how that works. So these are actually like sort of base forms here, and this is the other reason it needs to be put in here. So if it's mana, the plural for women, irregular feminine, am I even pronouncing that right? Probably not. We put in ban. So like, we put in the base form of it here. That's how the system works. And actually, I had to change this sentence up here to be parsed word by word to get the audio word by word, which is a bit of a pain. So now you know. So like this, still though, this is, what is it? 32, great number. Lines, much better than once before. And the idea of this is that this will be done by a user interface. So you come in, you just type in your first sentence, and you type in your English, and then you type in to form, and then your mutation, and then you pick from from a selector. You pick whatever one makes sense, and then maybe you might click add one, fill that in, and you add it in here, and then you click add pattern, and you pick from a list, or add one into the list, pick from it, and then and then I think we still need to go word by word and do this. I'm trying to think, could we automate that? Probably. No, because we need the base word. Yeah, this is unfortunate. So yeah, people will need to put in the base form, but that should be pretty simple. Just be like every word up here will be like a form to fill in. If you're fluent and you can type fast, you should be able to bang it out. No problem at all. Getting the audio might be a bit of a tricky issue, and that's actually what we're focusing on. Trying to find ways to maybe get a database that just has every bit of audio out there. That's how it can work. But even without audio, it's still pretty good. And we are working on some clever solutions for the audio. That's this. So, much easier to work with. Can do it as a human. We don't need to rely so much on machines generating it for us. And that's this one. The wrong on. What is going on? That's axe. Yeah. So take a quick look at vocabulary. Say cat verbs. Do we have any verbs? We have no verbs. You can see this was being done, and I had to change the schema, the structure, and I had to pull out a lot of them. And that was when I gave up and decided just to create a simpler release. What do we know that's there? This one here is there, no? Yeah. So this is like pretty simple. This is vocabulary, the root word, the English kind of definition, a bit of a description, Yeah, this could be anything. You can put anything you want in here. You could put in anything you want. Is cool. Is sound whatever. Then in the app side we can put in some stuff and say, okay, if this whatever you want to call it is there, do something fun or interesting. All right, but this can be anything. And again, in a tool, an interface when we create it, you can drop down, pick something, add something, and then we put the variation. So this can be as long as you want, every single variation, and we try to keep it as simple as possible. And then these don't do anything. These are just like showing up, so you can put anything you want in here. But the information, I guess, is useful to the learner. I actually could have done this much better than this, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. But let me just continue on and go to grammar. And same thing again. We go with why is greetings in here? That doesn't make any sense. So then we have content. These are much bigger. You can see come in here, title, what's it do, learning, explanation. These rules, again, these aren't code or anything. This can be anything. Add in a list as long as you want of all of the stuff. The lesson screen I showed you earlier on is generated from this. So your examples, your common mistakes, and the multiple choices are just this. You can put in as many as you want, and as many options as you want, and then just a quick little interaction to see what's going on. These are not meant for humans to be done. This is just how I'm showing how the data is done, and we build tools on top of it, and eventually interfaces. Let me just really quickly show you. It's JSON, yeah. This is how this works. So, it's actually broken at the moment. For stuff to be added here, we added in like this, and this is generated from the lessons. So if you generate lessons and you put in something like Odoo or something like this, and it doesn't exist in the grammar, we can run a tool and it generates these, and it tells you which file, categories file, and then it tells you what the key is. So it says, okay, go here, create this, and then it is up to you. You can use a tool, it will generate the template, but it's up to you to go in and define what adjectives are in this context. So that's that. Let me go back to, I think I can, no, I can't anymore. Okay. So that's this, but eventually it'll be interface. At the moment it is just a Python tool we use. So we generate the JSON into Python, and then we can fill it in by hand, which is what I've been doing, or via the tool, sometimes just entering in fields, because it's much easier for me to update a Python file than it is for me to change the UI and all this kind of stuff. It's just a quick little script. Python struggles. I remember pre-Venv era bin, right? Oh my god. No, it's source bin, right? No, it's bin activate, yeah, okay. I shouldn't be doing this on a Saturday night. I don't think I need sudo for this. Am I missing something? Oh yeah. God, silly me. Yeah, if I could spell it right, that would be amazing. Being dyslexic and a coder is interesting. There is a tool called FCK, and it fixes your spelling mistakes, but it's dangerous, right? The amount of times I've named the project too and misspelled it. Even this case, actually, I think this should be should have an error or something, right? And then it just said it that for years afterwards. So I'm gonna digress again. There's a whole part of hacking of people creating packages that are spelt weirdly to try and catch coders like me who misspelled stuff and inject their code into it. I'm trying to show you the tool and I'm rambling, so what was it again? I have to go. Tupperone arm. I had to go get the door. Let's see, I'll just edit that back together. No. What was I doing? Can you stop laughing at me? Okay, I'm just gonna delete that video and start again. Okay, the pronoun. I got distracted. Doorbell. So where was I? Yeah, I was showing you this tool. Oh man, where's it gone? Sorry, I've sourced this one. It must be here. Yeah, this is the tool. Okay, my brain is fried. You can search through vocabulary, or I think you can just search actually. I'll show you the categories, vocabulary, and then say grammar. Did I spell something wrong again? Yeah, I did. Search grammar, and then what else? Grammar, and then if you want to go take a look at this one. There we go. Take a look and see it in here. And this is what I was saying earlier on. It was I shouldn't have been showing you through the console. I should have just showed you this way. And again, this is the whole idea. This is to put this behind a UI. Probably not in Python. I'll probably rewrite it in a in a better language like Haskell. But this is kind of like just prototyping out the interface and stuff. And this is generally how we work. We like do it quick and code, and then we build out the UI and stuff, which takes longer. Okay, and I want to go and I've seen this one and I want to edit. So I can add, delete. Oh my god, can I spell edit though? I can add, delete or whatever, and then if you edit, it brings you in here. You can change stuff real quick, or whatever you want, and then it's done. Back, and that's super nice when you're working with it because you can just when you're focused. What else? Okay, yeah. So you can also define your editor. You can say like nbim or whatever, or code for VS Code. Why can I not speak and type? That's weird. Cupola. Okay, yeah. Let me just go down and search. Oh, let me edit. Can I edit? Axe. I'll search it first. I don't think I finished this interface last week. So let's edit it. Edit Axe. Is it like this? Yeah, okay. No, it's not that at all. I'm not gonna remember now. Is it just this? What's it telling me to do? Yeah, I didn't finish it out. I don't think it's not there, but if I search it, can we see it? Search Axe, and then yeah, this is probably as far as I got before I fell asleep. I guess not. That's not working either. Oh no, it's yeah. Yeah, okay, that doesn't do much for us really. What I'm trying to show you is that X. Oh, sorry, my bad. Act1.json. I think it should be the first one. Yeah, this one here is written out, and if one is missing, we can do this tool, and we can try to remember now. It's analyze. Oh, I'm gonna go find it because my brain is fried. Back here somewhere. So I was doing it in the last video. Okay, yeah, verify act. That's my bad. So this ran on this, and then it showed here. This is what's found currently in the database, and this is what's missing. And it adds each of these to a to-do file that you can go take a look at and add in stuff. So missing these. This is broken. I need to fix this. It should be something other than unknown. So if I go into Z Oops. Oh, Z. Oh my god. And I just take a look at to do. See, there are all the words there, and then you can go in and you can like use the tool, and you can create a template. You fill in the template, and then you finish, and it deletes it. So that's the kind of the workflow. Yeah, that's it. There was something else I was going to show. Oh yeah, last thing is today I took a small part of the code base. I think the code base is, I don't know how, it's tens of thousands. It's approaching 100,000 lines of code, I think. And I took out sorry, a small part of this. Is this gonna work? Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I took a small part of this app and I put it into an own project, and I put a load of like documentation and stuff to kind of, it's just open source, so this is publicly available. Should work, and I'll take a look at the README now in a second and show you what's going on, and I will show you some of the resources and stuff. This might take a while for the video, not for the loading up, although that might take a while too. Let me just open the new tab and then do it this way. No, so let's take a look at the README. So this is all public. Actually, I can just show you that too. I was in this tab. This is Pubble Sionnach. This is totally open source, MIT license. You can do what you want in here. Clone it down, and then we put in stuff. You know, how you get started, get working on it, what's going on, and basically this is like a parallel app anybody can work on. You know, create your PR. We'll give all the guidance you need, help you. We put loads of stuff in here to kind of help you get up to speed with the architecture and how we build stuff. That's in Skull, which is here, and have a little podcast and a video that we did with I just did a notepad ML, so I just loaded in all the documentation and I just wrote for ages about everything and then put it there, and actually here it is. I just wrote this stuff out about the architecture, and this is exactly how we build the app, though it's only like 2,000 lines, so it's a bit easier to go to, but it's the same. It's the main stuff, lesson screen, and then we just break it into features. So model, provider, widgets and stuff. So I put a good bit of code in here. You can take a look and see. The big thing is how we do this. So like we generate a lot of code, and we use threes immutable data structures to get rid of a lot of bugs. So you can kind of see the schema, and we use JSON annotate to kind of generate code to parse JSON a bit easier. Yeah, so you can, anybody who's interested wants to kind of get involved. The idea would be you come here and you can add stuff to this app, create a PR, ask any questions, we'll help you. We put lots of documentation in. Yeah, and there's actually like a good bit of code in here. Like it's maintainable in the sense that doing a full open source project would have been an absolute killer. This one's probably the most complicated. Oh no, it's actually not that bad. Only 100 lines. This file in the original is like 2,500 lines because it's doing a lot more. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to go back to this one and probably do this. Oh, it says it's running. Am I missing something? Oh, of course. I actually haven't run it on the iPhone yet, but you can run it on Windows, Mac OS, web, iOS, Android. This is it. Like, I mean, this is 2,000 lines of code to get you. And then, yeah, so So you can take a look at this, and then if you want, you can make this your own. Work it off, do your own, whatever you want with your own stuff. So I'm trying to see where the words are. Widgets, providers. Is it in the main one? Yeah, here it is. Here, like, yeah, this is where you put the sentences in. I mean, you can load in JSON, the other stuff, but it's just the whole idea of this repo is for you to, if anybody's interested in working with us and people have expressed interest, we have put everything in here, so you can take a look. And I even created a podcast and video using Notepad's ML, which I'm totally new to. Found it today. So what that means is in here we have resources for learning. And then I already showed you this one. This model with freezed mutable data. We use repository for I/O, keep the boundaries clear, and Riverpod 2.0 for moving the data around is, if you're not into code, maybe, you definitely don't care. If you're into code, you probably don't care, but if you're working with Flutter, I think it's important, and if you're going to work with us, the expectation would be that you have built something with this, and ideally in the app, but that, like, if you're going to work with us, we would expect you to know this architecture, Riverpod 2.0, freeze, and be able to work in it, because there's only two of us. We can't be training people. We can't even be assigning tasks and stuff. So if someone's going to work with us, they need to be like really autonomous, autodidactical, so self-learning. Basically, they need to be just given the code and let do what they want, and then we can trust them, right? So that's what this is for. And then you come to this project. You know something, you can ask us on the PR or discussions on the here, and anybody can see it. So then the next person asks, we can say, look at this, we've already answered that question. So here or here. Sionnach, that's it. A lot more, it's a lot more than this, but this is kind of just showing what's going on. The future, I need to move the irregular verbs course to this new system, and then I need to put in all the data, which will require a weekend when I'm well rested, and I can just do it all weekend, so it'll take a while, I think. In the background, because the numbers have jumped up so much, I've been a lot of infrastructure, so like updating the servers, adding in VPNs, and securing everything, and like this kind of boring stuff that nobody cares about, but it's important. Probably do more of that this weekend, but I'm really hoping to have this out for Halloween. It's more of a aspirational than realistic goal, but that's what you can expect. So if you've gotten this far, Míle buchas agus slán live.